Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the webcast for Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse and Analytics, powered by OC Solutions. Uh, we are waiting for people to joining in, so we'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, guys. So we are good to go. We'll start our presentation today. So thank you for everyone again. Welcome again, everyone, to be part of this webinar. So today we are going to talk about how Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse are driving business agility for the all our consumers in Middle East and wider world. So today's agenda we will cover the business impact of analytics, and we'll talk about why an organization should invest in analytics, should invest in data warehouse now, because this is the right time and to leverage the information in the data that they're storing and to take the right amount of decision. So we'll help them to understand today on how our solution is going to influence, the decision making and allow them to make right choices. We're going to talk about our solution on a CFO dashboard. What does a CFO looks at? What kind of KPIs or what kind of numbers a CFO is interested in looking at, which help them to take a good financial decision and get a 360-degree view of the financial health of an organization. We'll talk about a procurement head dashboard, wherein a procurement manager or procurement department head would like to see it, how his supply chain is working, how his inventory is shaping up, what are the stocks he needs to buy, what are the dead items he needs to get rid of, how much time does it take in a PO to get approved, and how much time does it take in invoice to get executed. So all those key KPIs for a procurement department will help him to take a right decision in planning his ERP supply chain. Similarly, we'll talk about an HR manager dashboard, wherein what, especially after COVID-19 times, when most organizations are reshaping their workforce, HR manager dashboard will help them understand what kind of people do they have, how much cost I'm spending per employee, how much profit my organization is making per employee, and what kind of employees do I have now, from which countries, and what are their key KPIs. So that kind of a dashboard we're going to talk about, and then we'll open the session for question and answers where we can answer your particular question. So myself, I'm Shabir Vora. I'm regional manager for EOSys in Middle East. I'm taking care of my customers. I help them to innovate in their business processes by involving analytics, by involving creating data warehouse solutions, machine learning solutions, and implement RP and chatbots. With me will be Bhumin Kamdar. Bhumin is our solution architect for advanced analytic and machine learning. He has an experience of around how much, Bhumin? More than 10 years, I'd say. And he's a global expert. He's worked in all different global customer base and has about wide industry experience. To kickstart the presentation today, so I'll ask Bhumin to take it over and go forward with the agenda.
Thank you, Shabir. So hello everyone. Yes, Moment Kamda. I think Shabir already had introduced me. I have more than 10 plus years of experience in solution designing. Just before we start, Shabir, am I audible? Is it fine? There are no disturbance in the voice
You're
if I'm
perfectly
not wrong.
audible. Yes, Bowman, you're
Okay.
perfectly audible. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So let's go with the first part. I think as you already know, the agenda for today's webinar, that what we are actually looking into it is what is the impact, like what is the business impact and what has to be there. So let's start with why should one invest in analytics? So when we talk about analytics, what is the difference between business intelligence and analytics? That would be the first thing that comes in our mind. So when we are talking about, let's say, what is business intelligence? So first part, always, what is the difference between business intelligence and analytics itself? So when we are talking about that portion, let me rephrase the particular question itself. What is the difference between descriptive analytics and the prescriptive analytics? That is the major difference between your business intelligence and business analytics itself. So when we are talking about this part, as you can see in the screen, what actual business analysis consists of. So business intelligence has historical trend. So what we do in business intelligence for BI, any of the BI projects or any of the BI implementation that we have done inside our organization until now, that relies on my historical data only. What it does, it actually runs through your historical data. It actually prepares that what has happened, It actually has prepared and show you that how that thing has happened. So let's say I'll give you a kind of a small and simple example. When you have one particular data set of financial, you just want to find out that does your current revenue achieve your budget amount or not. When you actually find out from your historical data set, you find out that, okay, yes, in January 2020, I reached to my revenue budget itself, or was for budgeted for the revenue, I reached to that particular level. In the second, I would rather ask that, okay, when I reach to that particular budget as my revenue, how do I reach there? What type of department has actually contributed in it? So yes, business intelligence give you a drill down. It will make you reach to that particular department level, particular revenue itself. It says that what are the most contributors, which are the department that contributes most for your revenue of particular January 2020. But then when we talk about that, why those department actually are giving me more revenue, that why question was never answered by your business intelligence. It just gives you a description saying that yes, this particular month you are having or you are reaching your budgeted revenue itself, but it doesn't give you an output says that why you did reach that particular revenue itself. So when we are talking about that, when we are saying that I just need to prescribe that particular question, or I just need to get that particular answer from my data itself, that's where my business analytics come in picture. We are not going to use history just to trend it out, but we are going to use our historical data to create a particular futuristic decision making part, a futuristic prospect itself, the forecasting, predictive analytics, what if analytics. So when we say that, always business analytics comes or business analytics starts with why. Why I achieve my revenue in January? What was the reason behind it? So what I'll do is I'll just use my historical data, get the deep down inside it. It doesn't appeal to have only data that you have in your current system. I mean, when we talk about why, there are n number of factors in the market itself. Until now in the business intelligence, we are not actually capturing the external factors. We are not capturing the multiple sources. We are not capturing the data from outside the market. We are always trying to capture our data set, which is my relational database itself, which is implemented application. But now it's a time where you actually should push your part and say that, oh no, you have to prepare one particular business analytics. And for that, you will need 4 or 5 external data sources. And we need to integrate them, create a proper analytics warehouse. And then we go ahead with the multiple analytics on it. Like, we can go ahead with what if analysis and say that if I, let's say I just say that, okay, if I, if I want to increase my revenue to 5% in this month, in what all region should I work? And the particular analytics will give you an answer, says that, okay, these are the 5 things where you can work on top of it. So that's where that's how the business and business analytics come in picture. So it always comes with why. It uses that particular historical data to trend your future. It uses it gives you the what if analytics. It gives you the prescriptive analytics. It gives you that particular external data inside it. And on top of it, we can deploy auto machine learning or ML or the machine learning libraries, kind of that particular tool that gives you the learn power of the data itself. So that's where business analytics comes. So as I say, a simple and pure difference, a descriptive analytics and the prescriptive analytics. And when we talk about the current pandemics, I would say that yes, this is the right time where you can actually go ahead and invest your particular money or invest your particular budget to check out that what is my business analytics itself. Okay, now when we are talking about that, what would be the biggest challenge when we are looking into integrate multiple source system, multiple solution itself? So one of the biggest challenge that we are looking into here when we talk about the data warehouse or analytics data warehouse challenge, the first thing it says that requires extensive manual involvement. This is what the traditional way is. This is how we actually need it. So when we are talking about it, what we are actually trying to do over there is it actually requires the extensive work. So a particular person have to involve every time when he actually wants to create that particular warehouse itself. He needs to go there. Is there any relational data sets? Is there any normalization form do I have? Can I go deep down inside it and go into it? That means the manual actual effort does require. Next part, upfront acquisition and ongoing maintenance cost. Yes, because when we actually had predicted or when we had started our environment, we are looking into it and saying that okay, what I need is I need my actual portion, which is actually says I need to do a normal business intelligence from my relational data sources. But once we started it, we are actually involving the other data source systems. We're trying to involve the external data sets. We're trying to involve the moreover the punctuation on top of it. And when we talk about it, what does that mean? That means that my upfront cost, which is related to the ongoing acquisition or the maintenance of that particular server. It could be possible I start with 1 TB after my hard or disk space. But when we talk about after 3 months, I actually require 2 TB of the space to get my data set full. So that is where it actually says that ongoing maintenance costs and acquisition is always in the process. In a big organizations, you cannot ask them to change your VM every other day. You cannot ask them to change over every other virtual machine or the other things, or say that I just need to add one more hard drive to the space inside it. No, we cannot do that. So that particular part, I would rather say that is always a tedious job when we are looking into the data warehouse part. When we go to the next part, it says too complex to manage. Yes, when I actually have one particular big VM machine, I have implemented multiple layered or clustered database itself. And once the database and everything is ready with me, I have to manage it every other time. I have to create my indexes. I have to go ahead and check that is there my indexes are refreshed. Does my cache buffer is refreshed? Do I have my database every time ready itself? Is it properly responsive? To maintain it, the complexity to manage that particular data warehouse is super high. And when we talk about last but not the least, that is say that sometimes it's too slow to deploy. Yes, because when we are talking about it, I actually needs to go ahead and think about my next 5 years data sets. So for next 5 years, how much applications that I might need to include? How many other different sets I might need to include? When we talk about all of these prospects, it is actually keeping our mind inside that. Okay, like let's start with the particular part, but what could be the right budget of it? So that could be many things that can factor the data warehouse part as a challenge itself. I would rather simply suggest and put out in this particular point says that yes, it's manual, it's super complex to manage, it's costly to manage because whenever we need to include something, I need new disk spaces. And it is slow. Yes, why it is slow? For the query, for any other prospect, whatever you want to do on that particular portion, you actually have to pass through so many things inside it. I need to check for the multiple indices to look into it. Yes, and that particular portion, that particular environment is slow. But that's where we actually come up with one of the biggest thing, which, one of the best thing that Oracle comes in picture with on cloud, which is called as Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. Now, Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse has power. Now, when we talk about autonomous, what is the meaning of autonomous? Autonomous means when you actually need the space, you can include it. When you actually want to scale up your machine, you can do it. When you need so many things to be done automatically, yes, it do it. So the point for us when we talk about Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse, so first thing, let's get on top of it. Let's talk about first thing. It support the heterogeneous environment. Means when you talk about it, says I need HA, the high availability on my data. I want my data to be secure. I want my data to not go anywhere else. I don't want to worry about my downtime. At that particular prospect, when we talk about the environment, the autonomous data warehouse automatically gives you one HA environment with itself. And as far as the Oracle guarantees, your autonomous data warehouse has 99.9% availability once you start improving and once you start deploying services itself. So the best thing about it, it's 99.9% available. You don't need any downtime. Even in the upgrade, when you want to upgrade your application, you don't need any downtime. Even when we are talking about next portion, you don't need a downtime itself. As we just explained, right? I need to acquire more space. What should I have to do? I have to pass through a kind of an RFQ to the market, requesting for the curation of my hard drive. Then I go ahead and check that, okay, is that Exadata machine itself? Does it match on the top of it? So it takes around I would say 2 to 3 weeks of process to get it approved. But when we are talking about the autonomous data warehouse, you can just put it or you can just switch it on the auto scale mode. The auto scale mode will increase your space and increase your autonomous data warehouse's RAM and the memory portion, which can gives you. It also increases the OCPU, which gives you more power every other time. So one of the easiest prospect the autonomous data warehouse has is easy maintenance. Second, autonomous, so many things that you have to rely until now on the DBA or the database administrator, like creating indices, so many do the backup itself. Backup is auto. You have an auto-generated backup by autonomous data warehouse. So as you can see on a screen, you actually can start from data integration, streaming, staging a data lake, processing your machine learning algorithms. Visualization is the output of it, but majorly integration and streaming data directly to your autonomous data warehouse. And when we talk about autonomous, whenever the actual machine feels it, that okay, now you already had filled up your 90% of your space. The autonomous data warehouse automatically increased that. That is called the scale up mode or auto scale mode of autonomous data warehouse. And best thing about it is you don't need downtime. When it is actually scaling, you don't need downtime. In a current environment, when you are actually increasing or when you are actually upgrading your system, you actually need the downtime itself. Right? So in this particular prospect, in this particular environment, you actually do not need any kind of downtime. Now let's talk about the autonomous data warehouse in a little more depth, that what are the new or what are the different things that it provides than the other market data warehouse or market cloud data warehouse. So let's not talk about autonomous because we already had talked about so many things related to autonomous that you don't need DBA itself to implement that structure. To implement autonomous data warehouse or to deploy autonomous data warehouse, the services take barely 5 minutes to start. You just click it, you just say I need one OCPU as a start, and once you click on it, it actually creates your application services. It took barely 5 minutes to start your autonomous data warehouse on cloud. Now, when we talk about the next portion, let's talk about this. Yes, just get a bit more detail. It says that AutoML in memory, native JSON. Sometimes you have many stream analytics itself. Your process related to the streaming, data streaming is actually get involved in the picture when we are looking into it, the external market factor for every other data set. So when we say that, yes, pandemic is here, but does your data, your relational data doesn't say that the pandemic is here. So what we need to do is we need to collaborate your external market data or the news data with your internal system data itself. And then you need to wait on it, and then you have to find out the application on top of it. So when we talk about that, it actually runs on native JSON. Most of the streams work on the native JSON data set itself. And you know what, this particular autonomous data warehouse has the actual environment which actually can look and process the native JSON data. You don't need to convert it into the relational model itself. Same way, it's a cloud SQL. It is easy to use. It has so many process memory. There are no latency itself. All of the actual requirement of business analytics data warehouse is actually getting satisfied from the Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse itself. So as I say, whenever we talk about the data process, what could be my process itself? Until now, it was just structured data. After Autonomous Data Warehouse, this could be your actual data ingestion process itself. You can go ahead with any of the applications, social media, graphs, spatial data sets. You have your, kind of Google Analytics is available with you. You have some Snowflake data warehouse, which is available with you. You have so many other things which is already been prepared as third-party tool, like, let's say SurveyMonkey is also there, which actually gives the survey related to your company. There are multiple survey applications itself, which are online survey application. All of these you can integrate with Autonomous Data Warehouse natively. It actually supports REST API. It supports your SOAP API. It supports SOA API. All of the API which is currently available in the market, all of them are directly natively connect with the Oracle Data Warehouse, Autonomous Data Warehouse itself. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay, what type of tool do I need to maintain that particular auto run ingestion? No, Autonomous Data Warehouse natively supported. So from Data Warehouse itself, you can go ahead and reach out that particular stream and get the data set up on top of it. So what we do is we just store and process that particular data, or basically data marts in a modern terms. We just propose that, we store the data parts and process them. We prepare a particular bunches from the data lake. We do the transformation. We make our data analytics ready in the data warehouse. And from then, we do the visualization on the Oracle Analytics platform. So until now, what we had seen was all related to the business analytics and data warehouse part itself. So quickly, I think we already have pushed one particular poll over here. Can you go ahead and just check that part? That do you agree that analytics can drive the significance of your business impact and decision making? Just
Right.
go ahead and push your poll inside. Yes, Shabir, go ahead.
Yeah. So just running this poll for 30 seconds, and then we'll close it. The idea is, so what Domin explained right now was the key component of any analytics solution, right? The data warehouse. So until you have the data warehouse in place, you're not going to get that data consolidated and processed in a way that needs the visualization to be built on top of it, which will give you the right results. So we have just collected the results, and right, so 91% of the audience agrees very strongly that analytics can drive significant value to making a business impact, and 9% were neutral. They were not pretty much, let's say, did not disagree and did not agree. So let's change their opinion in the coming slides.
Sure. Okay, so until now, what you actually had seen, it's all related to the Autonomous Data Warehouse. Now, let me give you a small clips and glimpse of it, that how Autonomous Data Warehouse can drive. And once the glimpse is done, I will show you, I'll go ahead and give you the Evosis, basically the particular data connectivities on top of it.
Oracle's Autonomous Database Cloud brings data, performance, elastic scaling, and autonomous management together with data preparation, visualization, and storytelling in a single platform. Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse and Oracle Autonomous Analytics Cloud enable speed of thought experiences. Jim, a retail manager, can gain powerful insights about his customers and business performance to drive higher revenue by utilizing natural language queries to answer questions about product sales, smart insights to discover data and identify income brackets buying his products, data visualization and forecasting of his product sales, and the ability to share and scale powerful analytics and insights with a growing number of users. Starting with a few quick natural language queries, Jim finds best-selling products, amounts sold, and which customers were buying. But he needs more than an overview to present to his manager. To discover what income brackets are buying which product categories, Jim creates a custom dashboard, starting with sales data from Autonomous Data Warehouse. A visual bird's-eye tile view provides Jim with an assessment of his data, with visualizations illustrating the distribution of data in each column. With a table view, Jim can preview the entire star schema, equipped with powerful user-accessible data enrichment, easily creating a new grouping column, organizing customers by generation. Next, Jim enters the Visualize tab to create compelling visualizations. Viewing his sales over time, Jim easily spots trends and easily creates a forecast with just a few clicks. Zooming in, Jim can quickly compare past versus predictions to inform action. Leveraging advanced analytics, Jim easily clusters products into performance categories, discovering his best performing products. Oracle Data Visualization offers data explanation on each attribute with a simple right-click, zero scripting required. Data is analyzed, then otherwise hidden or unknown patterns and trends are shown visually. Leveraging Oracle's powerful, scalable, and elastic data warehouse repository, Jim goes beyond the limitations of his laptop to access deep insights across all his data. Finally, Jim begins crafting visualization canvases to present his findings to Paula, his manager. Jim creates a dynamic view of sales history, then quickly and easily adds a trend line. He can create canvases to explore any area he desires, each showing a different perspective of the business. A few canvases later, Jim shares the details of his discoveries with Paula via the narrate capability. No cutting and pasting into PowerPoint. Jim can publish and share his findings with other departments and stakeholders, from a handful of people to an entire enterprise. Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse can deliver data with the highest performance available, with elastic CPU scaling. No tuning, downtime, rewriting, or redeploying necessary. Armed with the insights he needs, Jim is confident about achieving his goals of higher business performance and revenue. Transform your data management today and make smarter decisions faster with Oracle's Autonomous Database Cloud.
Well, that was a very powerful tool, Pawan, that really gives organization power to get insights like in few clicks. Go ahead, Pawan.
Right, I mean, the best thing about that, or what we already had explained, I think, in the previous slides, that's, the first thing fast. Second, we already had seen there are no maintenance specific maintenance, say lag would require. The third and the utmost portion is actually out of scale. So if your machine, if your currently the usage is high, it automatically scale it up. If the usage actually decreases on a month-on-month basis, it automatically comes down. So auto scale is one of the best features that autonomous data warehouse do have, and that's the best part for availability in the market right now. And last but not the least, as you can see on the screen on the video that we had just displayed, the analytics platform that actually gives us one particular platform where you can do self-service discovery. Now, when we are talking about all of these, we are actually looking into, the hypothetically the tool itself. Now, let's get into the analytics. Let's get into the organization. So when we talk about the organization, one of the biggest part that we are looking into are the business users. So you have staff managers, accountants, analysts, executive. All of them has to get involved in the multiple portions itself. When we are talking about Evosys Autonomous Analytics, what we are doing over here, we are capturing the data from Oracle ERP Cloud, Oracle EPM Cloud, and when we talk about the particular EPM and Oracle Analytics ERP, we actually dump the data set and we prepare the Evosys Autonomous Analytics itself, which actually comes with the package bundle with the self-service data discovery. And when we talk about the use cases, we have managed daily workload and operations, real-time transaction reports, financial statements, like you have balance sheets, P&L statements, you have a number of the actual data which actually looking into it, the budget versus forecast and everything. When we talk about planning and budgeting part, we go ahead with the grouping, we go ahead with the actual COA, the chart of account portion. Do the root cause analytics, do the multi-source and multi-factor analytics, and keeping all of these multi-factor on your relational database, predict your actual future. And futuristic, let's 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, next full month forecast or whole year forecast you can do on top of it. So that is where we talk about the Evosys Autonomous Analytics bundle itself. Now I'll just quickly jump to another slide. It says that what are the different things or what are the different modules that include in this particular package analytics. Any ERP, it doesn't need to be have Oracle ERP itself. It could be use any of the ERP. When we are talking about EvoSys Autonomous Analytics, you can have any ERP. If you have the SAP, if you have Oracle, if you have IBM, if you have your own custom-made ERP, not at all any issue. We can push this data sets inside our model, map it with the EvoSys bundle model, and you will have your data sets, you will have your warehouse, you will have your analytic application ready with you. What it consists of Fusion ERP. I'm going to say ERP analytics. That means supply chain, procurement, internal applications, other modules. The base modules would be included in it. When we talk to the next portion, the base finance module. When we talk about the next, which might it's CM analytics, it's included everything. It included not only core HR, it also included the payroll integration. The next, when we talk about supply chain, it actually comes up with all of the pre-built custom models related to the supply chain. CX, yes, all of the analytics are included. And one of the biggest part, until now, when we are using business intelligence, you cannot do cross-module. In this package analytics, it's that flexible that apart from whatever is given in package, if you want to do cross-module analytics, you can actually start creating your own requirement and pushing that particular power of EvoSys warehouse that has been built to create the cross-module reporting. Then you want to find it out that, okay, this is my actual balance sheet. Let's just connect it with my, expenses has happened. Let's just connect it with my supply chain and procurement module, and let's just check it. Is it the actual application over there or not? So, connection of your ERP financials to the procurement, you can actually do it in a flash. So that is what it actually is coming inside the package that EvoSys is providing you. Let me just jump to the next slide.
Yep, this is the pre-built package from EvoSys where we have a lot of pre-built analytics, and as Pamin explained, it can be easily deployed and extended as per the need.
Right. So why we need actually the pre-built analytics? Let's just jump it quickly. That why we need it, because if you start and go from the scratch, you need to extract data, you need to manage the data, you need to create your dashboard and KPI, and then you finally start analyzing it. While where EvoSys Autonomous Data Warehouse comes in picture, we actually give you the configured data warehouse, configured pipelines, configured KPIs, everything is ready. So once it's plugged in, you actually are saving your time and efforts on actually preparing that base modules from the scratch. So that's where the EvoSys Autonomous Analytics comes in picture. And then the best part, where you can actually put your time in, extend with the multiple data sources, extend with the external data sources, create the custom KPIs, create the management dashboard. So all of these is overall there. Now, when we talk about it, let me just give you the glimpse of my database part. Before that, let's just push one particular quick poll over there. In your opinion, what are the challenges? Yes, Shabir, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Before jumping into the CFO dashboard that we want to show, we just want to have your opinion on what are the CFO challenges, what helps them make the decision. So I'll quickly close it, keeping the time in mind, and I'll share the results. So, right, 50% agrees that inability to use data effectively is one of the main problems that faced by CFO, and 50% agrees that all of the above. So ideally, yes, ideally it will be all of the above problems. So let's see what we have got as a pre-built solution from our side on the CFO dashboard.
Sure. So as you can see from the CFO dashboard, when we talk about the actual bundle package, the financial analytics itself, it comes with every other bit of the analytics. It starts from the profitability to balance sheet to receivables to payables, everything. Everything is included in a single package itself. And as you can see in the dashboards, these dashboards are pre-built and available with you. And just to notify you, when we are talking about profitability and profit and loss, in that part, it doesn't come with only revenue and the expenses. We do give you the basic calculations like CAPEX, EBITDA, The OPEX has also been included, as you can see, operating expense analytics. So all of the basic calculation, the actual standard calculation on the warehouse, all of them has been captured on top of it. Now, talk about balance sheets. Yes, what type of balance sheet you currently need? The standard balance sheet is there inside the pre-built package, but you can go ahead and customize this balance sheets itself. And when we say that, kind of, all of these dashboards are kind of, overview, or kind of, I would say, the detailed version of it. We give you a kind of a dashboard for a kind of CFO who can actually see that month on month, what is my last quarter status at, how it's going, what is my trend, how is my revenue working, is it how much up, how much down, what's my expenses, how about my net income. All of these KPIs can be clicked and they can have it on the dashboard and they can look into it accordingly. So all of these things are directly pre-builtly available with the package bundle of Evosys Analytics itself. Now, when we go ahead with the next portion, Procurement Manager's Dashboard. When we talk about Procurement Manager's Dashboard, we are starting from the Procurement Efficiency Matrix to the Supplier Base Analytics, Spend, Item Overview, Inventory Management, On-Hand Quantity, and Item Category versus Suppliers. All of these things included in a single bundle dashboard itself. So you can actually drill down to the dashboard, nail to the last level of detail, and find out that why this particular thing has happened. And as you can see, the item categorization, integration portion, when we talk about item overviews, trends, catalogs, everything has been over there. And typically the dashboard is interactive. You can click, drill, click, all the questions can be asked inside the application itself. Next portion is HR dashboards. As far as the HR manager is concerned, we are not only here for the my active headcount portion. We are here for the headcount, how was the separation, attrition history, headcount versus payroll cost, and your cost versus the revenue. Everything is there. So when we just go ahead and give you a glimpse of it, you can start with your revenue base to the manpower cost, to the different categorization cost, and until the employment cost. And you can also have the forecast of each manpower and employment cost itself, and versus the revenue application that you can go ahead and look on top of it. So as you can see, overall, all of these package dashboards, which has the integration with payroll and cost already available, it has been as the bundle of Evosys has been provided to you. So as I say, the base package, the base integrations, the base analytics is already being given to you to start exploring. So for us, once we have this particular dashboards, we are just there to go ahead with the new extend of it. So as you already had seen multiple things over there, autonomous data warehouse, self-service discovery, and analytics. When we talk about it, every other bit of the portion we already have captures on top of it. Now let's go ahead for a quick poll. Yeah, over to you, Shabir.
All right, thanks, Momin. So thank you for presenting that pre-built package that Evosys has to offer. So we're going to talk about in this poll about what does, what defines a business agility for an organization, adapting to the new times that we are living in. So I'll just open the poll for a few minutes and then we'll go back to the presentation. All right. So 25% said that smarter innovations will help them complete their activities is going to define the business agility. And I would say 75% agree on all of the above, right? Getting a 360-degree view of the business, adapting to new platforms to make the life easy for IT to use, getting financial data insights to make informed decision. And yeah, that is what defines the business agility of any organization. So I'll talk about Evosys. So we are almost concluding our presentation wherein we talked about our pre-built solution on analytics. Now, when we talk about as an Evosys, Bhavan, can you go to the further slides? So we are Oracle Platinum Partner Company. We are into Oracle Platinum business, Oracle business since last 14 years. We are covering all the major pillars in Oracle, right from supply chain, finance, HR, and BI. And based on our experience in last 14 years implementing our ERP solutions, we understand each different industry needs. We understand what a public sector looks like, what KPIs the public sector wants to see, what an healthcare customer wants to see, what an retail or construction customer wants to see, right? So we understand their business processes, and we are leveraging innovative solutions like RPA and chatbots, machine learning solutions powered by advanced analytics to get them innovation done, to get them executed with the business agility they want to run with. So we've been executing our projects with them, and we have been recognized by Gartner in Gartner Magic Quadrant for Oracle services, wherein we have been very successful in executing this innovation in such large-scale projects for our customers. And because of that, we've been recognized by Gartner in Magic Quadrant from last continuous 2 years. So we have implemented these Oracle Cloud solutions to more than 1,000 cloud customers globally, including right from implementation of cloud applications to advanced analytic solutions. So that brings us to an end about the agenda and the webinar that we wanted to do today. Bomit, we have another slide, or we are done? And otherwise we can open for Q&A. So feel free, feel happy to put all the questions that you have in your mind. Me and Bowman will be more than happy to answer all your questions, and we'll be more than happy to engage with you to execute the analytic solution or advanced data warehouse solutions for you, wherein you can see how this analytics is impacting your business, and we is able to give you the right KPIs, insights, and data to help you make the right decisions. So we are open for questions. Please feel free to add your questions on the slides. Okay, all right. So we haven't had many questions. So just iterating a couple of points before we close, so that as an says, we have got a lot of pre-built analytics, as Bowman explained during the presentation. These analytics are pre-built and very easy to deploy. These are kind of plug and play kind of analytics that we have. And looking at the capability of Oracle Analytics Cloud and Autonomous Data Warehouse, we can always extend that to fit your business requirements, to fit your organization-specific use case, and we can execute these kind of projects wherein we have got a lot of experience on similar solutions. All right, thank you. We'll conclude our presentation today. Thank you for your time, everyone.